And this is Todd. So, you guys know I've been on a quest for a good Spider-Man for a long time. We're talking years. And I wanted a Spider-Man that fit in good with the He-Man size figures. Now, I got this one right here that I thought would work because it's 7 inches, but he's just too tall and I just don't like the way his legs articulate. So, I went ahead and got another Spider-Man, and I'm hoping this one will actually work better. But before I get any further, let's go ahead and do a sound check and see if it's working. Well, that's not good. There we go. Cool. Let me check the video. Make sure it looks smooth. There we go. Cool. Let me check the video. Make sure it's smooth. All right. So it looks like everything's working good. So let's go ahead and get into this. So, this was actually one of the Spider-Man figures I wanted originally, and I saw him at Walmart, and I did not buy him right away, and I was kicking myself for a while. I do have a link down below in the description that shows the one I actually purchased, and you can see the outrageous price I had to end up paying to get this one. But still, I think this one will work really good, and it's from the same series that she came from, so she'll be the right height to match the figure as well. Let's go ahead and check out the Spider-Man. Let's look at the back first. And it says Marvel Spider-Man, and it says Spider-Man, bitten by a radioactive spider, Peter Parker now possesses all the I know it's a cool word for spider, Acnoid's attributes. He is the amazing Spider-Man. Spider-Man. And this is like the Spider-Man from the 90s, the one my son grew up with, which was always a cool Spider-Man. I actually really enjoyed watching that with my kids when they were younger. And really kind of a fun throwback. And probably my favorite Spider-Man rendition that was ever made. But part of it was because it was with my kids. It was a lot of fun watching it. So let's go ahead and open this guy up. No, I'm not going to keep him sealed in the package. He is getting opened, because that's why I got him. So I could have him be next to He-Man and live in the He-Man world like he was transferred there. Some kind of crazy force that transferred him to Eternia. And he can fight alongside He-Man. And so that's what I've always kind of wanted, was a cool Spider-Man to go along. Now, when I first started looking for a Spider-Man that would match, we didn't have the classics. It was just the, you know, obviously the 80s style He-Man. And my kids had Spider-Man figures, and we would try them out, and they just didn't quite match aesthetically the size and anything else. It was funny too, because my one son had this really cool Spider-Man, and every day I'd go in there and I would position him differently, like he was fighting Venom on his dresser. And he would say, "Dad, did you move him?" No, he must be just, you know, at night when you're sleeping, or they must be fighting it out, you know. And I used to always kind of play around with my kids that way. He comes with 2 heads, as you can see here. Some extra hands. He has the web hands, and he has the closed fists, which is cool, but then he can't really hold any weapons if I decide to throw him in the He-Man universe and have him hold the power sword and become He-Spider, you know. So that kind of stinks a little bit, but maybe I can figure something out. Okay. Come on, Spider-Man. Let's get you out of here. There we go. I kind of wish I would have grabbed my Hulk to go along with this review, but the Hulk's in the other room on my shelf of cool figures. So here he is, and you can see he fits really nice with these figures for the height, you know, which I guess is good, because if they're all in the Spider universe, if they're all in the He-Man universe, and they all match. And you know what? That's really not too bad. That's actually a pretty good height. I actually like that better, because it's just a little bit shorter than He-Man, but not much. Which makes sense, because, you know, Peter Parker probably would be shorter than He-Man. So, you know, this is actually a good fit. I'm actually really happy with this Spider-Man figure. Let's go ahead and break down the articulation. I can already tell he's got some cool advanced moving features. So let's get He-Man standing up straight first. So first we have ankle articulation, and it rotates. A boot cut on this one. He has the double jointed knees, so he can really get into those Spider-Man poses. He has the upper leg cut, and his legs move correctly like they're supposed to for every action figure in the world except for that one. So that is cool. So he can do some cool, you know, fighting moves and getting some really cool spider poses, you know, and do the spider moves. Let's see. His waist does not turn. He does have a lower ab crunch, though. It's kind of like a hip crunch, if you will. And then he has an upper chest crunch, too. Kind of a... Actually, it's below his... It's right here. So it's kind of in his sternum area. And then his shoulders have a pivot, just like the Hulk does. And then his shoulder also has a standard movement as well that we see all the time. A bicep cut, double elbow joints, but they did it right. They didn't have the weird kind of thing going on. And of course, he has good wrist movement, so he can do the and shoot the spider web out and cause all kinds of havoc by putting web all over the city. So that is quite the cool movements. Like I said, you can do some really cool Spider-Man poses. Of course, his head moves as well. So I'm pretty excited about this Spider-Man figure. So this one, if you want to get it, is going to go up on eBay. It is a loose figure, just repackaged, but the package is not glued or shut or anything. I might steal the camera from it. I might not. I don't know. Maybe even the mask out of it. I don't know. I'll see how the fist hand fits too. So you may get less of a figure than what's shown there, but you'll see it in the picture what I leave behind. Because, you know, the camera looks cool. And the Peter Parker head's too big, though, I think, for his head. So let's go ahead and... that is so cool. So if you guys have not seen this yet... Oh, I got my Catra cat. Look how cool that is. I got her in the room. The paint is all hardened. And she's ready to pounce. Ready to pounce. And of course, those that know the cartoon know that Catra puts her mask down and turns into the purple cat. So there you go. All right, let's go look at some of your questions you guys have. Are you going to leave Spidey as is or customize him to be more Moto? I was at first going to make him more so he's more like he belongs in the Master of the Universe. Like, you know, big old muscles and stuff. But I actually like leaving him the way he is and just pretend like he has traveled to Eternia just the way he is, as opposed to making an Eternia Spider-Man where he'd be like he was an Eternian bit by a spider. This way he is the Earth Spider-Man that we know and love, traveling to Eternia. Which originally, it's not what I wanted. Originally, I did want a big old muscle-bound Spider-Man. And I was looking at that Hulk Spider-Man they had at one time. But that is a pretty spendy figure right now. But at the time when I was looking at him, he was not a spendy figure. But to go back and look now on eBay, it's outrageous. Make sure you guys click the link I have in the description so you can see the actual auction I got it from and the guy I got it from. The guy did an awesome job packing it. So if he has other auctions for sale, he's the guy. Let's get on to the business of the Land Shark. Land Shark, Land Shark. So I told you guys I want to make this work with classics. The sticker's coming off. And I thought about it for a while. Now somebody asked me, does the old Skeletor fit in here? So here is the 80s style Skeletor. This is actually the 2000 Skeletor, but whatever. It's the same body style. And it does fit nice in there. And his hand kind of reached there without much issue. There we go. So if you have an old 80s Skeletor, it actually works better than the Origins Skeletor does. His foot does not get caught the same way the Origins did. So believe it or not, this was actually works better with the old 80s Skeletor. So where is my Skeletor? There he is. So I was looking at my Skeletor and how to make him fit inside here. And I was thinking, first, we have this loincloth in the way of this one, so his legs bend even less than we'd want. So it's like, man, even have less movement than I was hoping for. So to squeeze him in there, you'd have to get him pretty far in there with the loincloth and the work. And the biggest problem is the seat is in the way. So I decided the seat has got to go. So I'm going to take a Dremel tool and I'm going to carefully cut this out, leaving some excess in there, and then sand it down and then rebuild a new seat way further back. Now after that new seat's further back, since He-Man could sit better, I'm going to stick him in there to show you guys. Once the seat is moved back, even the seat the way it is right now, his hands just cannot reach the bars. So I'm going to have to recreate bars that will probably go up and in, so it hooks up right here somehow. So I'll have to figure out some kind of way to extend these out so that you can just hook them on somehow and have the bars go up there. So that is my plan. I'm going to Dremel this seat out of here. Just the back half of it, and leave the seat right here. Then probably use some 2-part epoxy to rebuild the seat, or maybe make a 3D print of one that's much thinner and goes back and covers the engine more. And then put the guns back on. So that is my plan. All right, there was something else. Oh, that's right, this cat. This cat's been bugging me. I'm trying to figure out where I've seen this cat before. And I finally think I figured it out. Let me look on my iPad and find it. Let's see. And I think it came with the Captain Marvel figure, the one where she's wearing the coat. So let's take a look and see if we can find this. Captain Marvel action figures. Brie Larson. And let's see if we can find that figure and take a look at that cat. All right, so here I am pulling up the figures. And oh, look, they got a new one. That's the 12-1. That's kind of cool looking. But let's see. Here it is. Okay. So you can see there is Milo, the kitty cat. And I think it is the same sculpt. I think that's our kitty cat. I think they just repainted it differently. So this is the cat that came with Black Cat. And I think they used the exact same sculpt for the Brie Larson cat that we get with the coat on. And it was funny, it just was bugging me for a while, thinking, where have I seen this before? So there you go. That's where that's they reused that cat. I'm not sure which figure had it first, whether the Brie Larson Captain Marvel had it first or Black Cat had it first. But either way, it is the same cat that we saw with both figures. So ta-da. All right, so here's my question for you guys. I'm thinking when I do this, it would be kind of fun to do it live. So I'm thinking about maybe doing it next week sometime, so I have some time off, or maybe this weekend, and break it up into small chunks of videos, and then start sanding this, and I could answer your guys' questions as we go. Let me go ahead and take a look at some of your guys' questions you have now. Are you gonna Spidey or customize them to be Mormoto? Randy I read that earlier, and yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Maybe a sword could be gray and with webbing, or a red sword and webbing in half. One sword red with webbing, the other half sword blue webbing. That'd be interesting, James. Good idea, maybe. I'm supposed to say red and gray, not red or blue. At the end of the last message I sent you, I'm trying not to confuse. Okay. Let's see, a web sword. That's pretty neat. Wow, beautiful. Catra cat. Thank you. And Pascal says top figure. All right. So before I end this broadcast, I guess you would say, are there any things you guys want to ask me about these figures on my table that I could, and why I'm waiting for questions to come in? I will show off my cool Catra one more time because I'm just so impressed with myself. My wife always says I should not be. I mean, it's so cool. I mean, check it out. It actually fits right over the muscles of the cat. And it's just cool. And there's a little room in there for the neck to move up and down in that little area. So you can get the head up as high as it can go and it touches the armor. It's just cool. Cool. Now, it doesn't stay on by itself. That would have been cooler yet. But I think making it stay on by itself would have caused too much pressure on this part and it would have snapped again. So it's just a loose fit on there, but it does, kind of cinch in there nicely. Of course, the mask is made not to fall off. It actually does stick on the face pretty well. So that was my newest thing. Ugh. All right, let's take a look. Bought the 1980s DVD of Spider-Man Has Amazing Friends. Yes, those are so cool. Like I said, I still got to make my Iceman. And now that I've decided to go with this size, I may not make the giant Masters of the Universe Iceman. I may just see if I can find the Iceman from the same set so he matches as well. So when Spidey and his amazing friends come to Eternia, at least they'll all match. So Bobby Drake, is that his name? Will actually fit in with everybody else. You got to give him Eternia outfit. Have the Hulk Spider-Man figure. He's huge. I have 2 of them. You're welcome. Oh, James, that is so nice of you to offer, but I cannot take one of your Hulk Spider-Man. That is really cool of you to offer. I do appreciate that. You could double side tape for the cat. Yep, I could do that. I could stick the... And I was even thinking, too, I could put poster putty or something else, but, you know, I think it's just going to be just fine just sitting on there. Because it works just good enough. I'm happy with it. All right. Cool, cool. All right, you guys. Well, thanks for joining me. Like, subscribe, tell your friends. I finally got a decent Spider-Man that does match the Eternia size pretty well. I'm surprised because I thought for sure he'd be way too short, but I think it actually works pretty good. I'm happily surprised. So, like, subscribe, tell your friends, and stay tuned coming up, and you guys can watch me live chopping this thing up and making it work for classics. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye now. Thanks, JB. Glad you're here, man. See you, Randy.